The state of Supercross has been disrupted for 2004 as three-time defending champ Ricky Carmichael will sit this season out. But Chad Reed and a host of others are ready to make a run at the title and hopefully find the right line all the way to Las Vegas. It's 250 Racing next on ESPN2. Welcome you to Anaheim, California as we kick off the Supercross season here in the United States. It's the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Hello everybody and welcome to Edison International Field here in Anaheim. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele. The big story coming into this, no Ricky Carmichael, the three-time defending champ, will not be able to race Supercross this year.
Well, a sellout crowd of all my people from Southern California came. They wanted to see the champ. He is not here. A broken tibia plateau. Takes his ACL out. He had to get reconstructive surgery. Such a bummer. The champ is sidelined for the entire season.
Well, the guy who's got to be the odds-on favorite now, the man who came up just this short last year to Ricky Carmichael from Australia, number 22, Chad Reed, and boy, does he look fast.
He looks so quick, and the news is he had 3 pins put in his shoulder just a month ago. A week on the bike, he comes out here in practice. He is the #1, the fastest guy in practice. But let's not forget his teammate David Vuillemin, who was second fastest. He won tonight at the U.S. Open, and the Rock, Mike LaRocco, came in third fastest time, and also he was bumping and grinding with Chad Reed before we even got to the first race. In practice, he threw that down. And hey, let's mention Kevin Windham. He didn't have the fastest lap times in practice, but so many people talking about his speed, his skill, his ability. He could be a factor tonight.
All right, we are almost set to go racing. Before we do, let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Jamie Little.
Since Ricky Carmichael's out for the entire season with a knee injury and Chad Reed's just coming off a shoulder injury, that leaves the field wide open. At least 10 riders could take home a win in the 250 class, including Kevin Windham, who makes his return to racing after a 1-year hiatus.
Set to go racing. It's the Yamaha starting grid here in heat number 1 in the 250 class, and right off the top, the double deuce, Chad Reed on board his Yamaha. Ernesto Fonseca coming off a big win over in Europe. Also, David Vuillemin's in here. Mike LaRocco. This thing is stacked, Cameron.
Completely. Let's not forget Daryl Hurley. He has 1 win from the international rounds, and they're off. Let's see what happens here.
Reed had a great line on the inside, but he got pinched on the out. Let's see as they come out. It's Ernesto Fonseca that'll lead them through this first turn. Chad Reed slides way back in the pack. See if he can make a turn here. Shows him a wheel. He'll get 5th.
And the 34 bike in second is Clark Stiles, the Alabama Slammer. He is in the house, and he is making a 3-pack of red bikes up front. The number 17, Robbie Renard.
So is Ernesto Fonseca using the momentum that he garnered over in Europe in first place. We'll see what Fonseca can do. We'll see if Ricky Carmichael taught him to check out.
Interesting here with these 3 red bikes in front. A lot of talk. Chad Reed, David Vuillemin, the 2 fastest riders in the last practice here today. And you can see, actually, if you look back, Chad Reed sitting in 4th, Mike Brown sitting in 5th place, and Reedy looking for a line around Robbie Renard.
You know, the great thing about Chad Reed, Cameron, watching him over the years, the situation here is where he does not panic. He knows it's the kind of race where he's got plenty of time. Remember, we're going 8 laps, but the top 4 will advance to the final. And Chad Reed knows with that shoulder he needs to be in that top 4.
Right now, sitting in 4th place is qualifying, but it's never good enough for Reedy. And look, Clark Stiles down on the ground. Looks like he washed the front tire possibly. Reedy whizzing by using the tops of those wide whoops. That's the wider whoop section. Reedy to 2nd place. Now Ernesto Fonseca is all that separates him from the win. And coming up on the shorter section whoops. What I mean by shorter is there's less gap in between. And he looks over, Ernesto looks over, and he sees there's the 22 bike, and he takes him a little high, but he plays fair as Chad Reed's looking for the line, but Ernie's not totally giving up.
Chad Reed comes right back, closes the door this time on Ernesto Fonseca, so it's Reed in front. Ernesto Fonseca in 2nd place, and just like that, Chad Reed goes from 4th to 1st here in heat number 1 of the 250 class.
So much for people doubting the shoulder surgery. 3 pins about a month ago. He's been on the bike for a week. He's ridden the Supercross track just twice at Yamaha. Only 1 practice here in Anaheim. 1 day of practice, I should say. The Friday practice was canceled due to rain. Track is perfect. Dirtworks guys have done a great job, and I also got to say Chad Reed is looking near perfect.
Your TISO running order looks like this. It's Chad Reed out in front, number 22. Behind him on the Honda is Ernesto Fonseca, number 24. Then it's 17, Robbie Reynard. And moving up, Mike Brown, a guy who's made the jump up from 125.
And you can see behind him his teammate on the Boost Mobile Yamaha Troy team. That's Kelly Smith on the 33 bike. He will be riding the 125 East Coast, but getting his feet wet here on the 250s. And we'll see if Brownie can hold him off. Brownie will be riding 250s all year in Supercross, as he has pointed out of the 125cc class. What that means is you can only ride the 125s for so long before you garner enough points to be bumped up to the full-time 250s. Brownie currently sitting in 4th place. That is qualifying.
So Mike Brown proving that his first foray into the 250 Supercross thing is paying off well for this young man and for Team Yamaha right now. Looking very good in blue. Chad Reed continues to lead this Heat 1 of the 250 class. Reed is just dissecting this course here in Anaheim, California. Didn't get the best start, but after a lap, he goes from 4th to 1st. And now Ernesto Fonseca, the man who is chasing him, as we take a look at our TISO running order, is well within 100 yards behind him.
And right now on the move, we talked about David Vuillemin having the speed. He did have a bad start. You can see him getting, looks like, far off the course there, but he is pulling up behind Kelly Smith, who has been running in 5th place. So we'll see if he can make a move. It actually looked like Ryan Clark was looking for a line there around David Vuillemin, and Clark does get it on the 43 bike. Gets around Vuillemin, so maybe Vuillemin having a problem this heat. As I said before, the 2nd fastest rider in practice today in the final practice, and there's a lot of blue on the screen right there.
I was going to say, Cameron, this looks like the Yamaha test track out there, as Team Yamaha well represented this heat. There's number 12, David Vuillemin, the Cobra. Looked so fast in practice, got a terrible start, got pinched off, but here he is going to work on his teammates. 43 will show him a little tired, but not much resistance is there as he goes by Ryan Clark and moves up yet another position.
A little wheel slide by Vuillemin up inside of Clark, showing that, hey, I'm coming through, and he does. And a lot of respect for Ryan Clark, who did pass David. Look at this. Now Vuillemin back on the gas, getting up and around the 33 of Kelly Smith. Now he'll set his sights on Mike Brown. He was just going backwards. Now he's going forwards. Is it the cold? Is it carburation? Is there something going on here? And now he has moved up into qualifying position. He sits in 4th place.
Well, David Vuillemin just did himself a world of good. If you do not make it in the top 4 in this heat, you have to go to a semi-race. Who knows what can happen there? The least amount of racing these guys can do before the main event, Cameron, I think you'd agree, is better.
Well, for sure, you don't want to beat your body up. And the one thing is you don't want to take your chances of crashing out there. You know, you never know what's going to happen. Someone can get together with you. We see right now Chad Reed, your leader, he is just gone. A 2.5 faster than anybody in final practice there, or thereabout. Let's not make it exact. Skimming the whoops. It was the left shoulder that was a problem. Playing pool is kind of a recurring injury, he had said. Right now, it doesn't look like it's bothering him one bit.
Well, he's throwing down those mosaic colors, and right now he's the only rider to check in under a minute. Best time thus far, 59.73, is Chad Reed. As we take a look at your TISO running order, it's Reed, Fonseca, and Reynard. David Vuillemin now comes in 4th place.
White flag waving, one more lap. You can see a lapper moving out of the way of Chad Reed. You see his mechanic throwing him the board. I couldn't quite read it, but I'm sure it says something like, good job, and here's how far you're ahead.
Chad Reed removing all doubts from anyone who questioned his fitness and that left shoulder. No problems whatsoever. Reed is just on fire and looks fabulous right now. I really thought it'd be David Vuillemin coming out of the Yamaha camp that would look this good.
And looking back, Ernesto Fonseca setting back just a bit. Still working his way through those whoops. You see him working them as doubles, jumping up and down. Reedy throwing the one-hander. I got to ask, if he wasn't hurt, would we have seen the knack-knack? So maybe he is just a little bit sore still.
Chad Reed continues to lead. This is the final lap. Another straightaway, a right-hand turn, and the victory will be his. It's heat number 1 in the 250 class, and for Chad Reed, if he ever wanted to make a statement of who the best rider in 250 is, he just did it. Chad Reed picks up the victory here in Anaheim.
And let's take a look at the 250cc Heat 1 results. Chad Reed is your winner. He's down with Jamie Little.
By looking at that performance, you never guessed that Chad Reed had surgery 4 weeks ago. Chad, you're looking just like you did last year, where you left off in Vegas.
Yeah, I feel even better, you know. It's definitely not where I want to be at this point in the series, but it's a good starting point, and, you know, the biggest difference is this bike. This bike's awesome. We've had a change in the gas, and we have new suspension, and the guys have really stepped it up and made my job even easier than what it was, you know, going into at the end of last season. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to it, looking forward to, you know, building my confidence and building some race time because, you know, I've had some time off the bike to think about a lot. So, you know, I think it's paying off tonight.
I know you're playing a lot of PlayStation, too.
A lot of PlayStation, and not much you can do with, you know, a shoulder surgery. And, you know, right now I feel like kind of like a mummy. I'm all taped up, but, you know, I just got to have fun, and like to thank all my my team, all the guys in blue, and guys Thor and Custom Limited. Everybody's helping me out. The guys at Bridgestone getting this track hooked up and having a lot of fun. And 20 laps is going to be tough tonight, but I'm looking forward to it.
As we get set for heat number 2 in the 250 class, a lot of talent as well on this lineup as we take a look at number 58, Tyler Evans. And Tyler Evans will be carrying the onboard camera tonight. Our Suzuki starting lineup has a lot of talent, as I mentioned. Nicholas Wade, Timmy Ferry's in there, as is Ezra Lusk, another one of the riders who made a jump during the offseason from the Kawasaki over to the Yamaha team. Michael Byrne's in there, and Grant Langston, the Zulu Warrior, on board the KTM 250. And we are racing. This is 250 heat number 2.
And definitely riders down, getting to the first triple. It looks like the number 14 of K-Dub, Kevin Windham, having huge success in the outdoor series when he came back from motocross to motocross. Now he is back to Supercross and leading his first heat race in a couple of years.
No one ever questioned the speed of number 14 on board the Honda, Kevin Windham. But in Supercross, as Cameron pointed out, we haven't seen him in a while. Right behind him, though, number 27 is Nick Way, who's trying to close the gap. Do not let Windham out of your sight. That is job number 1.
And the 74, a shout out there for Eric Vallejo, doing it up, getting a great start. Was running in the top 3, and right now, Nick NYK, as he likes to say, is trying to chase down Kevin Windham. And I'm going to point something out really quick. Everybody's been talking about Windham, but in the final practice of this session here at Anaheim, he was 9th fastest. What does that mean? Well, it could mean absolutely nothing, or it could mean some people could catch up to him. We'll see. He has some interesting lines. You see him bounce off that, head into the triple, into the small whoop section. Nick Way still giving chase, but the 58 of Tyler Evans has moved up, and the Zulu Warrior Grant Langston moving up into 4th place. Those two riders, ironically, are 1st and 2nd on the World Tour after coming back from Europe. Both of them having some good finishes. So Tyler Evans right there on the 58. Grant Langston trying to show him a shoulder on the inside on the factory Red Bull KTM, and it looks like Langston's going to have the drive to the outside, but Tyler's going to stop in front of him, and
Tyler Evans parks him. Tyler Evans just parks Grant Langston and his KTM all the way up the track. He had a decent enough lead, and he's going to find a spot to jump back in here. Now, this is not cheating. He's just, for safety purposes, going to find a gap, jump in. Meanwhile, number 58, Tyler Evans, moves up. So Evans sits clear in number 3. As we take a look at the team, so running order, it's Windham, Way, and Tyler Evans, number 58. Changes the number. Same old Tyler Evans, same old attitude.
Boy, he's riding for the Monster Energy team, and he's still, you know, part of the Metal Militia, even though he doesn't really hang out with those guys. He's training for Supercross. He's lost tons of weight, and what I mean by that is muscle mass. The guy is thin and ready to ride Supercross. This guy, for sure, is riding anything and riding it all well. Kevin Windham, the number 14, unbelievable performance. Kevin Windham coming right out of the gate. Some people said, well, he might be a little bit nervous, but he definitely doesn't look nervous to any of us riding for the AMSOIL Chaparral Honda team out there right now in front.
So your leader, Kevin Windham, coming off a stellar outdoor season in which he chased and pushed and prodded Ricky Carmichael all summer long. Good to see him back on the Supercross track. Coming up behind him, though, is Nick Way. Tyler Evans sits in third, and Ezra Lusk, another rider, made a jump off of Kawasaki over to Yamaha, still sporting the number 11, sits in fourth place, the final transfer position right now in heat number 2.
Well, this is a lot of fun because we just saw the 22 of Chad Reed take the win in heat number 1, and now someone everybody's been talking about doing so well here in heat number 2. Kind of builds the suspense and the drama. Let's see the banging. Let's see them race. Let's get them together in the main event. Right now, it's a clear shot. The two Suzukis, factory Suzuki rider Nick Way running second. And actually a guy who's pretty friendly with Tyler Evans running in third place. So those guys solidly sitting there. Ezra Lusk is your fourth place rider. Nick Way from Michigan looking quite great right now. Over the triple, scrubbing a little speed, put in a solid performance.
We'll step aside when we come back to Anaheim, California. More of Heat 2 in the 250 class. Stay with us. Mississippi, Kevin Windham is your leader. Remember, we're taking the top 4 to the main event. Everyone else has to go to the semis and or the LCQs. Windham on board his Honda 450, and there's Ezra Lusk on the right, number 11. Right behind him, though, is Tyler Evans.
So a pass has been made. Ezra Lusk on the number 11 Mach 1 Yamaha, getting out in front of Tyler Evans. It doesn't look like Tyler wants to give up, but right now still sitting in fourth place for Evans here on the 7th of 8 laps, so that is qualifying position. But the guy that went down with Tyler giving a little bump coming up behind, could be time for a little bit of payback if he had the time.
On board with Tyler Evans as he tries to track down Ezra Lusk, and I'm really surprised, Cameron, and tell me if you are as well, as so many of the riders have made changes and how they have not missed a beat here in this opener.
It's amazing, actually, and that's just a testament to the training and the off-season, what they do. There really is no off-season anymore with all the races and all the different off-season events they can do and the training sessions these guys go through. I mean, really, the Supercross tracks they have, they train during the day, during the night, then they're in the gym. There really is no time to rest. White flag coming out as the battle tightens up for fourth place. Ezra Lusk getting just a little bit of breathing room in front of Tyler Evans, but maybe Tyler not looking in front of him any longer. He's possibly looking back. He's got to remember that the number 8 KTM is the bike that he took off the track just not too long ago earlier in this heat. And will Grant Langston give him a little payback if he can catch up to his back door?
Final lap. To give you a quick rundown, it's Kevin Windham out in front, Nick Way in second, then Ezra Lusk, Tyler Evans, Grant Langston trying to get in the top 4 and avoid going into a semi-race. And we've got riders down. Just like that, Tyler Evans meets Mother Earth, and that's going to send him into a semi.
You know what? It really kind of shocks me. Here we see Kevin Windham back in front. Tyler knows that Grant's coming, and he still goes to that outside line. He could have hugged it and protected it. Tyler is a very smart racer. And there are the checkered flag waving for Kevin Windham, winner of heat number 2. This sets up the battle. Reedy and K-Dub.
As we take a look at the 250cc Heat 2 results from Anaheim, California, it's Kevin Windham shaking off the Supercross rust. He's on the podium with Jamie.
This is one rider that has been dearly missed in the sport of Supercross over the last year. Kevin, it's so good to see you up here again. What did it feel like riding around in the front with all those people cheering for you every single lap?
I tell you what, it was great, and it's such a good feeling, you know, to be welcomed back, both in the outdoor season when I made my return last May, and now for the start of this second half of my career in the Supercross season. You know, it's been great. You know, my sponsors have just been incredible, both Honda and Factory Connection, Amsoil, Chaparral, no fear. Everybody just has been so supportive and so helpful to get me back up here, and I tell you, it feels good.
All right, guys, 250 class is underway. It's heating up. It's anybody's game tonight in the main event.
Thanks, Jamie. Well, the fans are bundled up for some more action. It's still in the low 40s, a little chilly out here, but hey, it's time now for the Suzuki Question of the Week.
I know Rick Johnson works for Suzuki. What's his role?
My role at Team Suzuki is I'm the official rider coach. Thank you for asking the Team Suzuki question of the week.
Some of our upcoming races include January 10th, a visit to the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, Bank One Ballpark. Then on the 17th, we're back in Anaheim. The 24th, we go to San Diego, California's Qualcomm Stadium. Right now, it's time for the THQ track experience. This action coming to us from 250 heat number 2.
And on the right, the view from number 58, Tyler Evans' helmet. And on the left side split screen, you can see he is racing on the track with Grant Langston. Grant about to leave himself open. A little takeout there. Evans' camera gets a little crazy, but he continues on through the triple and moving through the track, and that's your THQ track experience.
Right now, it's time to take a look at some of the highlights from the semifinal races and our LCQ. This is how it shook down in semifinal number 1. A lot of guys, Cameron, trying to squeeze into a small spot. Clark Stiles got the whole shot.
On the gas, and unfortunately Darrell Hurley goes down, taking out Joe Aloff and others. The Alabama Slammer could, however, not hold off the Rock, Mike LaRocco.
LaRocco would pick up the victory in semi number 1. In semi number 2, the whole shot was tight once again. Early on, it looked like it was Tyler Evans' race until this little get off.
A little slip-up, had to pull the ripcord. He would transfer on through. Sean Hamlin getting passed by the Red Dog, Tim Ferry, who was on the gas, but it was all Burner, Michael Byrne.
In the LCQ, only 2 of these guys would move on, so everyone trying to charge to the front. Initially, Mike Brown had the early lead, but he would drop out.
Sliding out underneath Isaiah Johnson, he would leave the door open. Isaiah would take the win, followed by Jason Thomas, and they would move right on through to the main event.
So there are your Thor official results for the semis and the LCQ. Welcome back to Anaheim, California, and Edison International Field. Before we get back to more racing action, it's time now for the Nissan Rider Profile. This week we feature privateer Ted Campbell.
Ted Campbell is a guy that is passionate about motocross and loves to make a living doing it and have fun. My girlfriend and I travel all around and do it, and we just have a great time. She comes for vacation and just hangs out with me. We ride together every day, every couple days, probably 3 days a week, and it's just a passion we both have. I mean, that's how we met, and we just keep it really, we go really well together when it comes to riding for sure. This is Nell Allen. She's the one that's 100% behind me, and without her, I couldn't do this for sure. She supports me 100%, and without her, it wouldn't be possible. I love having her here at the races, and especially to come here and have her as my mechanic is the best thing of all. I want to be top 15 this year, maybe even for sure fighting for privateer honors this year. I think I can definitely run up there, and I'm doing this all myself this year with the help of Nell and I, and we're just going to go have fun, and I want to do really well for myself and for my family and everybody else.
We are almost set for the 250 main event. We're fortunate enough to have the 3-time defending champion of Supercross, Ricky Carmichael, join us as he recuperates from a knee injury. Ricky, good to have you with us. We're going to jump right to business. Suzuki starting grid. There he is, 22, Chad Reed. Ricky knows him well. Don't count out Kevin Windham, Ernesto Fonseca, and Robbie Reynard. We are racing. This is 250 main from Anaheim. And look at that, picking up the Butterfinger hole shot. It's the Fonz, Ricky's teammate, Ernesto Fonseca, number 24, right behind him, number 22, Chad Reed, and the rest of the crew, including Way and Les, going 3 and 4. Look at this.
Oh, Ernesto Fonseca unloading in the whoop section. So Ricky, the whole shot, all for naught. That's got him hurt.
The whole shot and then had a mishap.
Ernesto Fonseca adding insult to injury. The bike stalls out. He's got to start up now. He's in dead last. And the worst thing that has come true, Chad Reed has got a lead, and it looks like he's all but checking out.
Chad Reed's already got like a 2-second lead. That could be dangerous. These guys need to get up there and make a charge before they can give him some breathing room, or it's going to be tough for him.
And he's followed by Burner, Hamlin, and Lusk. And those guys are going to have to get on their pony. None of them really factors in their heat race or in the lap times. Actually, Ezra Lusk had some good lap times in practice. But right now, Chad Reed is checking out. The question mark, Ricky, 4 new pins as Hamlin moves into second place. 3 new pins in Chad's shoulder 4 weeks ago. Can he go 20 laps?
I'm sure. You know, I think that if he gets some breathing room, it's definitely going to help him out. But if it's under pressure, maybe it'd be a different story. But he looks pretty comfortable right now.
Chad Reed is your leader. He is followed right now by Sean Hamlin, who slid in there. Here comes Ezra Lusk, number 11, sitting in third, and he almost goes over the falls. Nick Way's right behind him, and here comes David Vuillemin, the Cobra, one of the few guys out there, Ricky, that might be able to track down his teammate.
He may. I'll tell you, Cobra is one of those guys, man, he get him some confidence, and he can be lethal, definitely. You know, if he can get behind somebody, follow their lines, he's a very talented rider, very, 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 very talented.
And coming up behind Vuillemin, we see Grant Langston on the KTM and Tyler Evans on the Suzuki moving in. Right now, that's Lusk, followed by Byrne, the Aussie, and David Vuillemin there from France. And Vuillemin going for a different line to the inside, skipping across that obstacle, and he looks like he's going to try to put the pass and make it stick. He's got the inside line here.
Check out Hamlin, man. That guy is riding really good. He's checking out. He's got a comfortable lead in second.
So Hamlin getting away, but right now being chased by the number 11, the new Mach 1 Yamaha team rider, Ezra Lusk, running third, and then Vuillemin. So the Yamaha is getting together. You see Lusk dropping the front wheel just a little bit there. Byrne coming through the corner.
That's Ezra Lusk, number 11, on board the Yamaha. His new ride right behind him in numerical order, number 12. David Vuillemin, the Cobra, also on board the Yamaha. They are all trying to track down their teammate, number 22, Chad Reed, who's way out in front. In between that Yamaha train is number 36, that's Sean Hamlin. Spoiling the day for Team Blue on board of Suzuki.
And you can take a look back there into that back corner. You saw Grant Langston putting a wheel on Michael Byrne, not able to get a complete pass there, but he's definitely showing him some love. And actually, you see right there, Langston's also got his mirror full of Tim Ferry from Florida, the Red Dog, making a move up. But continuing on, it's Hamlin second. Then in third is Ezra Lusk, and
Red Dog making the pass on Langston. Taking that inside on the turns after the triple. Looks like he's going to get by.
You're right, Ricky. Did get right by there, and here.
This is the Butterfinger hole shot. Ricky, take us through it. What do you see in here?
Well, it's hard to see right now. Here they come. Looks like Ernesto Fonseca coming right down the middle. Positioning perfect, and Chad Reed on the inside. Ernesto charging in that turn there. He crossed the line right there, so he grabs the Butterfinger hole shot. Man, that little guy, he can get off the gate. I think that 250 don't even feel him on the seat, man. It's unreal.
And here's the problem. Now, what happened here, Ricky?
I think he, you know, just got a little anxious there, or maybe took a bad line. I tell you, those are really tough whoops. They're spaced really far apart, and with the little legs, it makes it tough on the man.
Joy to agony for Ernesto Fonseca. He was in first. In the matter of 3 seconds, he goes to last, and that man inherits the lead, number 22 from Australia. This is Chad Reed. He was the runner-up last year to the champion, Ricky Carmichael, who joins us in the booth. And right now, Chad, I'll tell you what, Ricky, if we didn't know he had shoulder surgery, you'd never know it because he looks very smooth.
Nah, he's looking awesome. And Tim Ferry just getting by his teammate there, Vuillemin, on the inside of the turn before the hoops. Looks like he's charging up on Ezra, making a push to get by him. Man, he's on the gas.
Chad Reed, as we take a look at our TSO running order, maintains his enormous lead. Not even second place coming into view. He finally does. That is Sean Hamlin, number 36. On board the Suzuki. Behind him, it's number 11, a newcomer to the Yamaha camp. That's Ezra Lusk. And behind him, it's Ferry and Vuillemin. So Yamaha trying to ruin everyone's day right now, but Hamlin will have none of it.
Well, Hambone's been a guy that has this kind of technical ability. He gets into these little sections and he works each one as its own, and then he puts it all together. I kind of watch him in practice where he works one section, and he kind of got the whole track dialed in to where he was really comfortable. As we see Ezra Lusk actually slipping out. You got to keep your traction, and Tim Ferry getting by cleanly. So now Ferry looking to get up on Sean Hamlin.
I tell you,
we're going to step aside, but when we come back, we'll have more of the 250 main event from Anaheim. Welcome back to Anaheim, California. Your leader in the 250 main event, number 22 from Australia, on board the Yamaha. That is Chad Reed. And the Yamahas right now are having their way. Ferry, Lust, Vuillemin, top 4 positions are all Yamahas right now. And I know it's killing our guest, Ricky Carmichael, not to have a little red in there. But moments ago, the Yamahas really showed their dominance. Sean Hamlin was in second place and just dropped out.
Actually, what happens here is that Tim Ferry's gotten by. Ezra Lust has the inside line, and he's going to come up high into Hamlin, who's already turning down, committed, and takes him out. Basically, is that a takeout move, Ricky?
No, Hamlin was going to try to come down and just hit the back of Yogi's wheel. It's not, you know, it's nothing intentional.
So, folks, Ricky Carmichael says file that under clean racing.
That was clean racing,
That's
for
just
sure.
Racing. Speaking of racing, the man who is absolutely on fire is Chad Reed, number 22. Now, he's yet to go into the 1 minute mark, which he did in his earlier race, but right now he is logging the fastest time by more than a second. Ricky, when a guy's doing that, you're going to have a hard night trying to bring him in.
Oh, definitely, and it goes back to the fact where he got a good start and he got a clean track, and he's riding good too. I mean, as you guys can see the lap times, he's just reeling them off.
Well, Chad Reed has things well under control. This is the battle for 5th place as we go back. Number 26 is Michael Byrne.
And Burner had a good run going. He was up towards the front, and now Mike LaRocco looking to reel him in. And Burner would definitely like to keep that top 5 finish. He definitely would have loved to have a podium his first go out. And his last lap time slipping back a little bit. You know, the last lap for Chad Reed was a 101.6. And you can see Burner slipping back just a little bit in LaRocco's last lap, a 103. So LaRocco definitely making the move. He's definitely putting time on Burner.
And Ricky, you've been in this position before. You know what it's like to have Mike LaRocco on your tail.
Oh, man, that guy, I mean, well, it's really bad if you're in the lead and he's in second, like on the 5th lap, because you know he's not going to get tired. It makes it tough. Look at Ferry trying to make a move on Lusk here. Wow. Looks like Lusk got by him.
Well, it's a battle for second. I'll tell you what. No love lost. Welcome to the team, Ezra. Tim Ferry wants a piece. Look at that kid.
Yogi.
Wow, and amazingly, his bike kind of lands right in his hand. His hands are right back on, and he's trying to get it started. Let's see if there's any damage to the bike. It looks like his handlebars or his clamp might be pushed down a little bit, but he's going to get going again. And
man.
A tough break for Ezra Lusk last season, winning at Phoenix, which is the next event we will be going to. And
let's see what happened. Looks like he's going good there. Oh, he dropped his front end there, and then it's all over. Man, good thing he got up.
It's almost the exact same spot that got stepped on.
Fonseca, yeah. I mean, those things are tough, and then they're really slick, too, so your tire spins. That doesn't help anything.
They started adding the wide space whoops more often. You have your traditional whoops you can skim easier, Ricky, but then they have those wide space whoops. It's tough to keep your wheel up.
I think they made these whoops to double from a rhythm link from like San Francisco last year, but what happened was I think they made like a little starter, so once you can get a starter and get up in there, you can kind of blitz them. So those things are tough, and they're far apart, and man, I tell you, I think they're made to be like rhythm whoops, though.
Look at David Vuillemin working over his teammate as we take a look at the T-cell running order. It's Chad Reed, Tim Ferry, and David Vuillemin going 1, 2, and 3. And I tell you, David Vuillemin, no riding orders here. He goes to the inside and closes the door.
Well, if it counts for anything, and it looks like it does, David Vuillemin did have faster lap times in practice. He gets by the Red Dog, Tim Ferry, and Vuillemin has been polished. We saw him win one night at the U.S. Open. And he carries a lot of corner speed. When you watch his riding, Ricky, he actually can keep the speed up around the corners quite well.
He bowls the turns really good, and you know, on this kind of track, that comes in handy. And you know, it's a long series, and you know, I'm just excited to watch these guys. It's really good. I tell you, Reed's definitely in control right now. He's out there and just clicking in the laps and trying to stay smooth, I'm sure.
We're just about halfway through the race, and Chad Reed is already coming up on lap traffic. And Ricky, you know how that is. It gets a little tricky because then you got to start racing all over again.
Yeah, it does. You know, you got to be careful for the lappers because you can never predict what they do, even though, you know, they're trying to be careful and courteous to the leaders coming up and getting by them. But you kind of have to be careful. I'll tell you, LaRocco's making a little charge there. He's in fourth now, and it's only halfway. We'll see what happens.
Mike LaRocco trying to break up the party that Yamaha's having right now, getting a little Honda up there, and I know that brings a smile to Ricky Carmichael's face. But right now, the Yamaha's looking very good. It's Reed, Vuillemin, Ferry, and LaRocco going 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then Michael Byrne rounding out your top 5. Ezra Lusk has dropped all the way back to 9th place, and that's tough for him because he was sitting beautifully, Cameron, in 2nd.
He was, and, you know, one thing after watching those heat races, we talked about, you know, maybe Kevin Windham would have something for this guy right here, the 22 of Chad Reed. And right now, Windham is circling in 7th place, and Reedy is just completely running away with it, just waxing the whole field. And he actually has about a 20-second gap back to 2nd place. So Chad Reed is pretty much covered, Ricky. 20 seconds, would you say, with, you know, maybe 8 laps to go? Is that a pretty safe margin?
Yeah, that's a pretty safe margin. If he doesn't have a mistake, which he's looking pretty mistake-free right now, you know, this race is probably going to come to him. So if he can keep doing what he's doing, it's pretty safe to say that he's going to have a good night tonight.
As we go to break, your running order looks like this. It's Reed, Vuillemin, Ferry, LaRocco, and Byrne, the top 5. We'll be back to Anaheim, California for more of the 250 main after this. Chad Reed continues to lead the 250 main event, but there is speculation that there's something definitely wrong with his bike. We've got Ricky Carmichael up here, and Ricky, this is definitely nervous time for him.
I mean, it could be anything. Maybe it's something electrical. Yeah, I'm sure he's just trying to, you know, survive this race and ride the bike the easiest that he can, and hopefully for his sake, everything goes safely for him.
As we take a look at the TSO running order, it's Chad Reed, David Vuillemin, and Tim Ferry. Mike LaRocco has now moved up to 4th place, but it has been all Chad Reed's race until he's been glancing over his mechanic, making gestures. Jamie Little reported moments ago the bike does not sound right, but from all appearances, just on the screen, the way he's riding, mission accomplished.
Well, Ricky, with the bike maybe cutting out, as Jamie said, and you said you saw the motorcycle look like it stopped, could be electronics. If it was inside the motor, the bike would probably already be done.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, it could be ignition or something. Or something simple, you know, like the spark plug cap to come off. I've had that happen to me before in 125s, and you know, it'll misfire here and there. That's why it seems like sometimes it's running good and sometimes it's not.
Right. Yeah, that's got to be a helpless feeling right there. There's nothing he can do.
I'm sure his mechanic is just sweating right now, man. Just hoping and praying.
Well, Darren Sorensen, his mechanic, just hoping the bike will make it to the end of the race. They'll fix it as soon as it's done, but Chad Reed is doing a masterful job of nursing this. I remember last year, Cameron, we saw him race, and he didn't have a seat cover, and he was able to make it through the race. So right now, putting the bike through its paces, and give credit to the boys at Yamaha because that bike is holding up.
Well, look at Chad looking down right now again at the motorcycle. Give a lot of credit to Chad Reed. Not only is he the fastest rider out there, but he's continuing on when there could be a problem with the bike. That's got to be so scary. And, you know, David Vuillemin has actually closed the gap, but only just a little bit, only a second and a half. David Vuillemin back about 18 and a half seconds right now.
I think Chad now has, about a lap and a half left.
There's David Vuillemin, number 12, a teammate of Chad Reed and the Cobra. A lot of people thinking that he would be an odds-on favorite, as was Chad Reed. But this really shows the explosion of the sport, Ricky. I mean, we got a guy from Australia, we got a guy from France, we've got guys from Australia out there doing such a great job. The Americans always strong. The international sport, and these Yamaha riders are showing that tonight.
Yep, it is now. It's you know, all the international riders, this is where everybody wants to be, is 250 American Supercross, and here we are.
Well, David Vuillemin sits in second place. He is trying to track down his teammate Chad Reed, who's had some problems with his bike. We may have to wait to the end of the race to find out exactly what they are. Tim Ferry sits in third place, and Mike LaRocco goes fourth. So the Yamaha's going 1, 2, and 3 here in the 250 main at Anaheim.
Now, Ricky, there's no way for David to know what's going on or that there's a problem with Chad's bike, so he might just be laying out thinking, okay, I'm going to take the second place one. Would his mechanic know there's a problem? We're on the last lap
I'm
here.
sure David's mechanic knows that something is wrong with Chad's bike, but, you know, I'm sure it looks like Chad's bike maybe has fixed itself or something like that, because he hasn't been looking down, or his bike hasn't been, you know, dying on it or anything. So he looks like he's got it under control here.
Well, adding insult to injury, Ernesto Fonseca was just lapped by the man he led through the whole shot. Chad Reed is on the white flag lap, and I think that Yamaha is going to hold up for at least a half a lap as Chad Reed continues to work his way through just a few more turns, and he will pick up the first victory here at Anaheim, California in the 250 main. It's been great having three-time defending champ Ricky Carmichael with us, and I know, Ricky, we appreciate you being here, but I know this has got to be difficult for you to watch Chad go out there and do this.
You know, he's the favorite, and you know, I have a lot of respect for the guy racing with him last year, and here he comes to take his victory of the year, first victory of the year.
The winner in the 250 main, Chad Reed, number 22 on board the Yamaha. No one's breathing a bigger sigh of relief than his mechanic and Chad Reed, and I don't know if he's got enough for a victory lap or not, but Chad Reed picks up the victory here in Anaheim. Welcome back to Anaheim, California's Edison International Field at the conclusion of the 250 main event, and what a race it was if you're a Chad Reed fan. Tonight, 45,000 plus sold out attendance. Watch the Australian just light up the track. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie Little, who's with Tim Ferry.
Todd, what a sigh of relief for all these riders. They wait 8 months to come and race this race in Anaheim. Tim, what a monkey off your back to come back and make it on the podium, and a sweep for Yamaha to top it off.
Yeah, it was definitely a good night for Yamaha, and, you know, a good night for me, really. I don't really ride as well at Anaheim. I'm not like Ricky. We're not used to the hard pack, and so I'm really happy to get out of here with a third-place finish. Me and David had a really good race. Me and Ezra until Ezra went down, and you know, it's cool to see all blue up here, and Yamaha guys have worked real hard for the season.
You know, Ricky Carmichael's up in the booth, and he said, Tim Ferry really surprised me tonight. He really rode well. Yeah, you know, I switched to 252 stroke this year, and I think, you know, nobody really expected me to be up there from all the picks I've heard from everybody. I wasn't really in the top 5, so I'm out here and be on the podium, and we get ready for Phoenix. Phoenix is one of my favorite tracks on the circuit. It's a lot like, you know, my track back at home, so it's a good start. Got some points, and even though I had to go to the semi, it was still good.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie, as we take a look at our final results, and what a race it was. The Honda final results look like this. It's Chad Reed picking up the victory. He's followed by teammates David Vuillemin and Tim Ferry. Mike LaRocco squeezes in there for 4th place, and Michael Byrne rounds out our top 5 here in Anaheim tonight. Right now, let's send it back down to Jamie Little, who's standing by with the Cobra.
What a night it was for David Vuillemin. David, I have to ask you right away, what happened with you and Ezra Lusk back there? I know you probably had best advantage seeing what happened in front of you.
You know, Ezra went sideways in the woods and had a big crash. And, you know, this track was really slippery, and, you know, it's really dangerous in the woods. You have to hit them like 4th gear wide open. So it was kind of tricky, and he made a little mistake, and he crashed really hard. And, you know, I'm really happy for the team, you know, win 1, 2, 3, and, you know, we've been working really hard with unleaded fuel and new rules and everything. And, you know, I'm happy, and, you know, it's a good first race, and I think it's going to be a good season.
You seem very confident today. You're having a good time in opening ceremonies. You have a new baby now. Your wife's here, and you're healthy. Everything came together for you today.
Yeah, everything is great. You know, I have my daughter Charlotte is awesome, and my wife is great, and you know, the team is working really hard. I have a great bike. You know, can you know, say enough of what's happening right now, you know, on me, and you know, I just need to be a little faster on the track now, and it'll be great.
So the big winner on the night in the 250cc class is Chad Reed. He's standing by with Jamie.
Well, many people last year realized Chad Reed has arrived. He's here. He wants the championship, I would say, almost more than anybody else out there. Chad, Oh my gosh, you got out in the front. I think you had a 25-second lead at one point in the race. What is going on? You just had surgery, man.
I know. I really, I'm really struggling to answer that because, taking 4 weeks off before the first race is not something that anyone really anticipates. And for me, I think it was, it was good because I was able to take a break and the bike was ready. I wasn't in a fluster over getting the thing ready or anything like that. And I felt good about getting my shoulder fixed. I really wanted to get it fixed. I've been struggling with it a little bit in the whoops, and unfortunately it came out playing a game of pool. So, I'm a big believer in things are meant to happen for a reason, and, hopefully this is my gift because I feel fresh. Everyone else has been riding burnout test tracks, and, I've been at home just chilling out and resting.
All right, I have to ask you. We saw you come by the mechanics row, and you're pointing at your bike, and we can hear you. It looked like you were full throttle, but it was breaking up. What was going on?
I was watching Jimmy up in the press box, and he looked a little too calm. So we thought we had a little problem, but obviously everybody has problems, and we'll fix it next weekend.
All right. Keeping it exciting here in Anaheim, Chad Reed gets off to a fabulous start. Surprised a lot of people, especially coming off an injury. Hey, this is the beginning. We've got a long series to come, and a good one, I might add. Cam? You guys, back to you.
As we check the standings for the road to Vegas on the THQ World Supercross GP, it's Tyler Evans in first, followed by Grant Langston and Damon Huffman. And in the THQ AMA Supercross Series, Chad Reed is your leader, followed by David Vuillemin and Tim Ferry. So on behalf of Jamie Little and Cameron Steele, I'm Todd Harris saying good night from Anaheim, California. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.